Hello, my name is Tammy Henderson. This presentation is for EDLC 632, Language and Literacy Instruction, Fall 2023. In this presentation, we will discuss one of the six language arts. The language arts that we will explore is writing, more specifically, the 5 stages of the writing process. Our learning outcomes are by the end of this presentation, you will understand the importance of writing, you'll be able to explain the 5 stages of the writing process, and you'll be able to describe 2 effective ways to differentiate writing instruction. Why is writing important? Writing has been shown to help improve students' reading abilities, comprehension, and communication. Tompkins explains in the article 7 reasons why children should write stories that writing promotes a student's ability to read, further explaining that when a student understands the writing process, their reading abilities increase. Graham and Herbert found that writing not only improves a student's reading abilities, but it also improves their comprehension as well. They explained that when a student writes about what they just read, their comprehension increases along with their reading abilities. Batkin, Brown, and Downing state that writing helps students understand the relationship between written words and communication. The National Institute for Literacy explains that students who master writing skills from an early age are less likely to struggle with literacy and communication. Tompkins further explains in the Language Arts Patterns of Practice that writing is an important part of literacy instruction and promotes written language concepts. Now that we understand why writing is important, let's explore the 5 stages of the writing process. These stages are pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Tompkins explains in Language Arts Patterns of Practice that the writing process needs to be explicitly taught to students. Over the next few slides, we will discuss each of the processes in detail. The first stage of the writing process is pre-writing. Tompkins explains in Language Arts Patterns of Practice that pre-writing is often the most neglected stage of the writing process. Pre-writing consists of students choosing their topic, then setting the purpose by deciding if their writing is to entertain, inform, or persuade their audience. Finally, students will organize their ideas by building their background knowledge. This is where students use drawings and diagrams to organize ideas. Tompkins stresses these activities as crucial steps as it sets the stage for students to begin writing. Stage 2 of the writing process is drafting, or creating a rough draft of their work. Tompkins explains in Language Arts Patterns of Practice that it is during this stage that students capture their ideas without worry about spelling or grammar. The third stage of the writing process is revising. During the revising stage, students will reread and revise their rough draft. Students will revise their rough draft based on feedback from peers or the teacher, as well as new ideas or thoughts. Tompkins further explains in Language Arts Patterns of Practice that teacher participation in the revising stage is important as it allows students to be provided with answers to questions as well as feedback, including compliments about their writing. The fourth stage of the writing process is the editing stage. Editing is when students proofread and correct any mechanical spelling or grammar errors to their paper. An important aspect of the editing stage, as explained by Tompkins in Language Arts Patterns of Practice, is for students to put their work aside to gain a new perspective. The fifth and final stage of the writing process is publishing. Tompkins explains in Language Arts Patterns of Practice that the final stage is where students bring their writing to life and begin to think of themselves as writers. During this stage, students will create their final copy and possibly share their writing with the class. 2 ways to differentiate writing for students. You can provide differentiated instruction by allowing students to use technology. Clark, Evans, Reiner, and Odell explain that the use of technology is an effective way to differentiate, especially if you allow students to use writing software or programs such as speech to text to complete their assignment. Another way to differentiate is through the use of collaborative writing. Activities these allow students to work in pairs or as a group to complete their writing assignment. Hansel, Kelly, and Wong explain that students who participate in collaborative writing activities gain confidence in their writing abilities. Both of these activities allow students to participate in the writing process. To review, we've learned that writing is an important part of the language arts as it promotes reading, comprehension, and communication. Next, we learn all 5 stages of the writing process, which are pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Finally, we learned some important ways to differentiate the writing instruction for students through the use of technology and collaborative writing. Thank you for watching my presentation.